have some amazing guests for you as always. I never disappoint, and neither does our production team, with scouting the best people to bring on here to sit in the hot seat. So when we come back, we're going to have an amazing performer here. I'm not going to give any details because I want you guys to stay and wait for it. The suspense is great. It literally just... Trust me on this one, okay? I cannot wait for him to sit on the hot seat and for me to interview him and for you guys to get to know somebody like him. So make sure when we go on the break, you guys go grab coffee, grab your little drinks, and come back and do not go anywhere, okay? So once again, I am Priscilla Moy, and I will see you back right after the break here and the hot seat.
This show is brought to you by Deborah Richards. Move Me No Mountains. Now available at Amazon Prime.
Ready to buy a home? Whether you want to move out of your parents' home for the first time, own a home after renting for years, or buy a place with a spouse or partner, purchasing your first home is a big step. Finding the right home for you and your family has never been easier. New American Funding can help you determine how much house you qualify for, what your payments may be, and get you pre-approved, which will help you put in a stronger offer when you do find your new home. Before you start the home buying process, it's important to consider everything that you want in a home and what that means to you. There are several things you should consider when buying a home. The neighborhood. Location. School district. Review what school district the house is in. Even if you don't have kids, having a home in a desirable school district will pay off when it comes time to sell your home in the future. Commute times. Check the routes to work, school, grocery stores, and more to see how busy they are and how much time these routes will take. Crime rate. Before you get too involved in the home buying process, check out the crime rates for the neighborhoods you are interested in. Our complete property profile report can give you property ownership, historical tax and mortgage data, neighborhood and school data, local market conditions, and more. Find the right home for you and your family with your complimentary property profile from New American Funding. To get pre-approved or to get your complimentary property profile, contact us today.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi guys, and welcome back. We are live here at the hot seat with Priscilla here at Social Media Shows, live in real time, coming to you from the beautiful city of Las Vegas. Every week we come here and we interview some of the best that are here in Las Vegas for you to meet and get to know. I love meeting a new person and learning about their journey and introducing them to all the people that are watching all around the world, and especially all of our Vegas locals. So shout out to you guys. So before the break, I did promise you that we are going to have an amazing guest here today, and I'm so excited. I was really hoping that he was going to say yes and come and be interviewed on my show. So everyone, please meet Kurt Joseph from the show at the Excalibur, Thunder from Down Under.
Hey.
Hi, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, no problem at all.
A seat. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
So now we talked a little bit before, and this is obviously not your first time in a studio or interview.
Right.
So amazing. I love to hear that, so I don't have to break the ice if you don't want to do that. So you come actually all the way from Australia. You're born there and native to Australia.
Yeah, so, we've got like 22 and part of the hiring process. You have to be for Australian for the show, and it's really awesome because I think the best part about it is when they're looking for a new guy to join the show, they ask us first if we've got any friends or anything that would maybe fit the role. So I've actually gotten over the years, I think about 9 of my friends. So it's like even a guy I went to high school with. So we've got backstage, Excalibur, Las Vegas, every single night. Me and a bunch of friends from home living the dream.
Yeah, all the way from Australia to not even just the U.S., but to Las Vegas, which to get people to move to Las Vegas, as you've met locals, is pretty hard because people are like, what do you do in Vegas if you're not a performer, etc. So prior to doing this, like, you know, you are from Gold Coast,
correct? Yeah,
correct, and you were in radio.
Yeah.
And DJing, and were you a host on there as well?
Yes, I was a club DJ first, and then I got the opportunity to join a radio station and be a radio DJ as well, which was great for like self-promotion for myself doing the DJing. And it led me to this job through our owner, who also runs like big festivals in Australia. DJs get booked, and I was getting booked at these festivals, and he approached me one day and asked if I had a friend that wanted to join, which I got in the show. And then I got a couple more in before I was like, you know what, I think I want to move to America. Have you got a spot for me there? Which he did. So
that's amazing.
I was on a plane like 2 weeks later. It was
wow,
like, it happened
so you're like,
really,
I'm ready.
Yeah, I was just talking to one of the new guys yesterday about it, how fast the process happens. Like you have an interview and then it's just like, when can you get on a plane? How quickly can you wrap your life up in Australia and move to the other side of the world?
Yeah. And that's amazing. You seem to love it. You've been with From Down Under for some time now.
8 years. I'm not just like saying it, it's the best job in the world. It really is. Like you work for an hour and a half a night. Yeah, like with me today, I'm just free. I can come do stuff like this, go to the gym, play with my dogs, do whatever I want.
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing. You're like, and then when you do go to work, you know all the guys. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys really get to know each other and spend a lot of time together. Yeah,
we're like family. Like, actually, like we're literally like just a bunch of brothers that we bicker and stuff sometimes backstage. Got makeup later that night, and we're cool the next day. And yeah, it's amazing.
So before you moved over here and even thought about this being a possibility, have you had any dance experience or performing experience? Zero?
I mean, performance DJing, like I did some pretty big clubs and festivals, which I think the biggest festival was like 10,000 people. So I was comfortable in front of a room full of people, but dancing, no. Nothing. Wow. So none of us are actually trained dancers. Everybody's from different backgrounds, mainly like tradesmen, a couple salesmen, personal trainers, DJ, and they teach you the show. They give you like a boot camp, and it's about 8 weeks.
Wow.
And you go from never dancing to being on Vegas stage.
Yeah, which is amazing considering a lot of the other male revue shows that are pretty popular and well known here in Vegas, a lot of them are trained dancers or they've been doing something like it for a while. So it's really impressive that you can know that none of these guys really came here with experience except from the boot camp, and you guys are that great.
And I think that's what sets us apart from the different show, like the other shows. And don't get me wrong, I know Magic Mike guys, Chippendales, fantastic dancers, great dudes, but they do majority have dance background, and people can kind of tell they come to the show, they know we're not trained dancers, but I think it's like we're just like the boy next door kind of vibe, and we're just there to have a good time. And I think that the audience always knows we're having a good time, because we always get that at the end of the show. They're like, you guys look like you're just having so much fun. Like, we are.
Yeah, it makes it more relatable.
Yeah.
Than seeing someone that you know is like, okay, this is very highly choreographed. This is so choreographed to the point where like everything's pre-planned, including who they bring up on stage.
Correct. Yeah,
right?
and we definitely are not like that. Like, there's times where the choreography is ruined on stage because we're trying to find someone and someone says no. Like, trying to get somebody, and someone eventually comes up and it's a little bit late, but we laugh, and you know, as I said, the crowd sees that and they know that it's randomly picked. It's very obvious that a lot of the people on stage are like, oh my god, they're like deer in headlights, just completely shocked.
Yeah. You're doing obviously a great job because you are also the MC of the show.
Yeah,
right.
And I love it. It's just so fun getting to, like you just said, meet new people. But for example, 3 nights ago on the weekend, we had a lady come in, and I talked to her after the show. We meet all our guests after the show. We get photos and do a photo op and everything. And she said, I'm not going to go. And she started crying. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? Oh my God, what do we do? And she's like, no, you'd have no idea. We had the worst day. I'm not going to go into details of what happened to us. However, we were going to cancel our tickets tonight. That's how bad our day was. And you just turned our entire week around. We're happy. We're smiling. We're laughing. And like, that makes you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you guys mostly rely on audience feedback, especially during the show, interaction,
Definitely.
in order to change your energy. Because I'm pretty sure you guys feel it too when you're up there and everyone's sitting there like either nervous.
It's kind of funny. I've got the ability to. I've been emceeing for 8 years now, and I do have the ability to a quiet room at the very start, and everyone's just quiet, clapping, very withheld, and they don't know what to expect. I can have them on their feet, cheering at the end of the show, without a doubt.
Which is why you're so prominent for being known in Thunder from Down Under. If you guys look up the show, his face is going to be on there. Okay, that's why I was so excited. He's sitting here. I was like, oh my god, when he said yes, I was like, oh, stop! Because I think
You're making me blush.
I've seen the show when I first moved here. It's about 4 years now, and I think I met you there briefly, but obviously I was an audience member, and I'm not doing what I did then. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was like, oh my god, like I remember. I feel like I still have that photo. Like afterwards, people take a photo with the guys on the stage.
And that's another thing. Like I said, there's little things that just set us apart, and we love meeting everybody. It's not like a chore where we're finish the show and it's hurry up, like, let's just get this over and done with. Like it's for the majority of the guys, it's one of the best parts of the show because you meet a lot of people and you make a lot of contacts. And you know, we were in Canada. Did a meet and greet afterwards, and these ladies were like, you know, come to our restaurant. We have a restaurant. We kind of like, oh, okay, we'll pop by. And we head to this restaurant, and they've shut the entire restaurant down for us and given us all this food, all these drinks and stuff. And it was like, wow.
Celebrity status.
Yeah.
So that's another big part of Thunder Down Under too, is because you guys get to travel and perform while you do travel.
Yeah.
What's your favorite place that you've been to or you performed in?
Well, I mean, there's so many. Like in America, you go from like the little because like you got towns in the States where the population of the town is literally 1,500 people, but there's 3,000 at the show. So they've traveled from all over, and they're such awesome shows because in Vegas, as fun as our show is, and it's great every night, there's a lot of people that they get the tickets that day. Like, what do we do tonight? Oh, let's go to Thunder from Down Under. And they grab tickets. Where in these small towns, tickets are on sale 8 months in advance, and that's like the weekend that they've planned with their girls for so long. And the energy levels it's insane. It's like a concert. But then you get to go all over the world. We just got back from touring the Netherlands, Holland, which was super fun. Completely different type of crowd. They're so used to like plays. And go into things like that, so they're very reserved, and you have to really get them out of their comfort zone to get them up and cheering and having a good time, and they always do. Wow, went to Hong Kong. Hong Kong was great. Guam was really fun. Mexico is always a good time. Down to Mexico City, performing down there. We go back to Australia every year to do a tour of home to show everyone back home what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's
probably
always
a great
good to go get mum's cooking.
Right, exactly. Nothing like
I usually come back not so much of a six-pack after our Australian tour, but
but that's pretty amazing because I think that probably helps from a performer standpoint, meeting people not only from different areas in the country but around the world and see how to deal with different personalities.
Yeah,
right. How to work in the moment, especially because you guys are very, you're getting up close and personal with people. You have to have that confidence, at least on the stage in that moment, in order to, okay, this is what we're dealing with today. And it also could be a cultural thing. So you guys have to kind of get to know, like, okay, would this be too inappropriate to do here? Sure. Especially I'm thinking of Asian countries when you say Hong Kong.
Hong Kong was interesting, and it was like, it was kind of when we did like Thailand, it's very, because like I said, you've got Netherlands where people go to shows, and our show is, anybody is welcome to come to our show, of course, but it is predominantly women. And then when we went to Hong Kong, there was like 70% men, and it was just because it's a show to watch. It wasn't like a sexual thing or anything like that. It was just, and it was really interesting that coming up after meeting us and like, that was awesome. Here's my wife. And
you're like, George, you dragged me here, but now I'm glad I came.
Well, that's always the case. It's funny because I always refer to a story back to my uncle. Was he was in the Air Force back home, and he moved over to America and married an American woman. So I'm lucky I've actually got some family in California from back home. And he came to the show when I first joined. He wasn't really too happy about it, and he's kind of sitting up at the back of the bar just drinking quietly, and I noticed him throughout the show. By the end of the show, he's with the rest of the family, he's clapping, he's like loving it, having the best time ever, and it happens every time. Like, and then we actually had a bachelor party come as a joke, like they tricked the guy, and they were like, that was better than going to a female show. That was awesome. Like, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
And then they were at a bar afterwards with 500 women from the show, so that was pretty
Exactly. There you go. Because that's always a plus.
It worked out
like,
pretty good, yeah.
It's kind of like the best of both worlds, But I'm sure you probably motivate a lot of guys too. I'm sure they see your physiques on stage and they're like, oh man, how can I be like you?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we get asked all the time, and it's like, it does help doing the show. There is a lot of cardio involved, so it's easy to stay in shape. But it also keeps you on your toes, because you got 12 other guys up on stage with you. You don't want to be the one that's kind of standing out like, oh, he's not really that in great shape. So everyone kind of pushes each other to stay in a good physique.
So what is your personal workout regimen? What kind of works for you? I know everyone's different.
Yeah, I do. I always skip each day. So I do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. I never have really set days. But, just a group. Chest, buys, one day. Back and tries, neck day, stuff like that. And just, I think diet's a big thing. Because we had our yearly photo shoot for the year a few weeks ago, and I dialed in my diet so good, and I was looking fantastic. And then I had a couple of weeks of treating myself, and you really do notice the difference just in 2 weeks off my diet plan. Diet, abs are made in the kitchen. It's like a saying,
that is really
it's true.
Yeah, that doesn't mean to skip out on exercise, but
But you got to treat yourself as well. You got to have some McDonald's now and then.
Don't be too hard. Obsessing is never that good for you. So you've been in Las Vegas for some time. What's the best thing about Las Vegas for you and living here and working here?
When I first started, I have to say it was like, because I came from a DJ background, and you've got the biggest DJs in the world here weekly. Like, I have friends coming over quite often, and they're like freaking out because like over a 3-day period there's more DJs than you'll see in an entire year in Australia. So the nightlife scene, that was a big one for me. And then as I've kind of got older and matured a bit more, I like getting out to the outdoors more, hikes. Vegas is a really good hub to fly out of, because like there's so many flights that come in here. It's very easy to shoot off to. We've got a couple of days off, go to Denver and check out Denver or something, or even drive to Arizona, and then obviously California, go to the beach.
Everything's very accessible.
Yeah, so that's what I like about it, and I'm not saying it because I'm here, but I like it. I truly think this is like one of the best countries in the world, because it's just, you've got everything. You've got the islands of Hawaii, where you can have like an island life, or you can do like beach in Miami, but then you can also do like really cool stuff. We've been up to like ranches in Montana and done horse stuff up there, and snowboarding and Vail, stuff like that. It's crazy. And then also Canada's like super close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And every state has a different culture, a different vibe. So
you
go there,
feel like you're in a different world sometimes.
Exactly.
Like some of the shows we've done are just like, the people have never left the state or the town ever. Like it's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's what they say with Vegas, is like when people move here, a lot of people, you either like it or you don't. It's either going to work for you or not, and they'll spit you out immediately. Yeah. But then when you're in Vegas, you learn that you settle just like all the other people in other states. And
a lot of my friends from home, they're like, what do you just party every night? I'm like, no, it's like a normal city. It's like there's the Strip, and then everything else is 100% normal.
Yeah, no one thinks Las Vegas is past the Strip. They think that's literally Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I mean, we live out on the mountain's edge, and like you just go on trails each day and take dogs for walks, and like I put photos on Instagram, and people are like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Vegas. Then there's Mount Charleston, snowboarding. So I've done snowboarding in the morning one day, and then pool party that afternoon. It's insane.
You could do everything
it's insane.
At any time you can do.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about the city. So now, from Down Under, do you plan on staying there for some time, or do you have something in the foreseeable future ahead? I
mean, I would like to. Like I said, I love my job. Thankfully for me, being the MC, it's got quite longevity in the role. So I'm 36 at the moment. I'd love to be there another 10 years. We've got guys in there that are still dancing, flipping on stage, that are nearly 50. Yeah. And they don't look 50. Like when people find out their age, they're like, we thought you were maybe 40. And they're like late 40s. So, keeping fit and healthy, I think does help with that. Yeah. So I'd hope to do that. I mean, one day it'd be kind of cool to get into maybe a little bit of TV. Mario Lopez vibes, hosting some shows. Yeah.
Yeah, host a show,
Yeah. So that That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it goes along with everything you're doing, so you'll be natural at it. It's just kind of going from a big live audience to a studio, sometimes with audience, sometimes with not, but, you know, going around that route. But Vegas, I feel, is opening up to so many new things, so there's going to be tons of opportunities.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah,
it's expanding pretty crazy. Like, it's, even from when I moved here first, like, where I live now, when I first moved here, there was nothing. It was desert, and now there's full communities out there.
And 8 years isn't that long for that to happen. Yeah,
it's not.
And it's great that the show is still there at the hotel that's still there, which is great. But it's also a hotel that has a lot of history, which is good. And I hope that it stays. I know there's a lot of locals that are pros, cons with a lot of things happening on the strip that are interchanging.
Yeah, we just got the key to the city actually not that long ago for having the longest running mail review on the strip. So yeah, it was awesome. 21 years, 22 years now. Sorry, that will be
that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Do you have any plans to continue the DJing here or anything with music?
Maybe. I mean, I've got my DJ equipment at home, and I'd sometimes, you know, on a night off, I'll just crack a beer and play some music and reminisce. I've got all my posters in my room, like of my glory days of DJing. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm in the place to do it.
Exactly. Like the world of opportunity. And you're bringing light to a lot of things that are happening in Las Vegas that are new and up and coming, but you guys are really still here. You're still relevant. And so I know we touched a little bit on it, but there's a lot of competition with live shows in general, whether it be acrobats, singers, musicians, live bands, and male revue. If people were coming to Vegas and they're like, okay, there's a list of shows that I can go to with the girls' night out or whatever, why Thunder from Down Under? I know you guys are relatable, you guys are different, but, you know?
I think it's definitely like the fun factor, because we're not like, when people think Thunder from Down Under, they've never been. Everyone kind of just like your strippers. It's like a strip club vibe where it's like sleazy, greased up, grinded, and it's really not. It's fully choreographed. It's 75 minutes of like a full Vegas production, and it's just like I can't really say more other than it's just like so much fun. I just love seeing everyone smiling and happy. Like no one ever leaves that show in a bad mood. Like everybody's happy. And it's also something different because it's like we don't take ourselves too seriously. There's like lots of comedy in the show. It's not just like guys trying to be seducing women all night. Is
there a part of the show that's your favorite?
Yeah, kind of. I can't give too much away.
I know, if you can like a little...
The finale's pretty good.
Okay. You can't really give much because you guys have to come see it, but I'm sure
it's a little bit of a surprise that happens at the end. That's kind of my favorite part. So you have to come and check it out.
Does the show change? I know a lot of shows like they kind of revamp, they re-choreograph certain parts.
Yeah, we kind of do it. We stagger it. So like there'll be a routine. We usually have 4 routines of like a theme. We've got like one guy, Alex. He looks like Tarzan, Jason Momoa. Like he does like a warrior routine. And like it just suits him to a T because he just looks so rugged. Then you've got like this clean cut army sergeant the next. Then we've got like a Sin City tribute. It's like the old gangster kind of mobster vibe one. And then like a classic SWAT. So we changed them up. Like we used to do other things. We had like a 300 routine. We've done so many firemen, stuff like that, lifeguards. And yeah, it does change every couple of years. We kind of just take one out, put another one in. Yeah. And try to keep it a bit fresh and relevant as well.
Yes. And probably what's the biggest misconception about being a male revue dancer? I know people are always, talking about it. They have their presumptions. And then the people in your personal life, like your family, is there anything that you really have to say, to prove to them that this is completely different from what public might see?
Not so much prove. When people, I think people obviously think the cliche male stripper is a very, in better terms, like a douchebag. Like you're a little bit of a up yourself, arrogant kind of guy. And from my experience with knowing guys from other male reviews and obviously us, it's not like that at all. Like everybody I know is super, super friendly and family guys. All of us are, we love our family and I'm a big mama's boy. Mum's
Yeah.
always over here. Yeah. She came. All my whole family's been to the show.
I was gonna say,
and,
have they come to the show?
Yeah.
And, like, they
Yeah, and I think they were like super proud when I got the job because the first thing that they knew about it, because I had friends in it, was that they were traveling the world doing it. So they knew I was going to get traveling the world, paid for, life experiences and stuff in a safe environment.
Yeah.
You know, with a company that look after us.
Exactly, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of probably find out a lot more about yourself as you grew.
Yeah,
within
it was.
yourself.
I mean, I never used to eat sushi. I didn't have anything spicy. I wasn't a coffee drinker. I'm all of them now.
We're home with all you can eat and always up and at 'em.
Yeah.
Like, so you need that caffeine and tons of food options.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best thing. Now, with you talk about with this touch base. I've never been to Australia. It's pretty far, but I would love to go. If there's someone asking you, like, oh my God, like, tell me about your hometown. Like, everyone's heard of Gold Coast, Queensland, but it's beachy, obviously.
It's think Miami. Like you got the
Okay.
skyscrapers right on the beach that are like 80 floors high, right up onto the beach. Party, great weather, amazing coffee. That's one thing I miss is the coffee back home is just best in the world. And yeah, it's just a super relaxed environment. Like I think Americans get a shock when they walk into the supermarket there and you've got a guy with their board shorts on, no shoes, no shirt, bag ready to get it. Like that's just normal.
Yeah.
It's
a very relaxed vibe.
So just think surfers.
I would say like very OC, Orange County,
Yeah.
like, you know, California, and that's probably.
And everyone looks like me.
Which it won't be a bad thing to go there. Like Kurt is your type, which
It's-
probably is.
It's quite funny when we do when we go home because you know it's not when we do our shows. Then I'm not kidding. Like most guys are in shape there. It's just kind of the lifestyle, and that's how it is where I'm from. So we're not as popular, I think, there because we look the same as everyone
yeah,
else.
they're just like, oh, come on. Like, I could do. The people are like, I could do this. Like,
I'm not
what?
kidding when people say we meet women after the show and they're like, oh my God, like where'd they find you? I'm like, it was pretty easy to find someone like me. I'm just normal.
But you have to go all the way like 23 hours like Australia to go get me.
It's a bit of a long
but you know, that's
yeah, but it's quite funny. What one question we get is like, "Are you really from Australia?" Like every night, and it's like, "Yeah." And they're like, oh, "We don't believe you." I'm like, "How do you think my accent is? It's pretty good, right?"
right.
How long do you think it would take to learn it, like
Exactly.
to perfect it? About 6 months? And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, it's like a
No.
16-hour flight to get here, so
Exactly.
I think it's easier just to fly us over than
Yeah, because
put everyone through
consistent.
rigorous accent training."
To keep it consistent this long. And
Yeah.
I feel like your accent's a lot harder to learn. A lot of people would kind of mix it in with like probably a British accent and English
100%,
accent.
yeah.
And so it's completely not the same. Like as an actor, you know, I'm like the
Yeah.
Australian accents are really hard along with like New Zealand, deciphering the different ones and not
Yeah.
offending that natives of the country.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so are you also a model at the same time? I know you guys do photo shoots a lot every year.
Not like there's a couple of guys that do modeling on the side. It's not something that I've ever really been interested in. We do our own photo shoots for the show to get content for social media or the billboards you see around Vegas and buses and taxis. It's crazy seeing yourself on all of them, but yeah, no model, just normal guy.
And ready to be a television host.
Yeah, hope so.
obviously.
Watch
Yeah.
out, Mario Lopez. I'm coming for your job.
Exactly. You can. I mean, hey, everything's possible in Vegas now. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be Hollywood 2.0, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, what would you? I ask this question for all of my guests, and it always kind of sums up who they are as a person. Is there a philosophy that you live by?
It's kind of cliche, but it's like live every day to the fullest. Like you never know what's going to happen. I've had such good friends that are fit and healthy like me, being unfortunately in accidents and stuff and not make it. And you're not invincible. So definitely just treat every day like it's your last. And if you get an opportunity that you think is going to be fun, take it because I did and now I'm living the dream.
Yeah, and could you picture yourself like not being in the United States? Like, what would you be doing back home? Still probably DJing and.
It's funny you're asking. There's a couple of questions me and the new guy were talking about yesterday, and I said, I'd probably be in a nightclub, which is still kind of fun, but you're not traveling the world. It's like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to have a job like this.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. I know a lot of cirque performers. I learned that recently that they literally go scout for them in their home country and they just ask them and they're like,
That's exactly how we do it too.
Yeah. And that you're probably at one point you're like, is this real?
That's what's good about Instagram, because that's like first and foremost is obviously your looks. You have to be in shape. You have to be in a good physique. But then second is always personality. If your personality doesn't fit, you're with 20 other guys that do have that good personality, you'll get pushed out pretty quick. So we've narrowed it down. I think we've got a good recipe on how to get the right person for the job.
Yeah. And so are you guys always looking? I know they always ask you.
Yeah, like we're always looking. I know that I can't give too much away, but the show is definitely expanding. We might be going to a different state soon, as well as Vegas. And then we've also got the touring team. We've got 7 guys that just tour the world constantly, in and out of Vegas. Oh,
that's pretty awesome. I'm waiting for the day you guys also have a TV show, like a lot of other. Okay, well,
stay tuned.
I'm just like,
you never know
you
what
never
might pop up.
Dun dun. Well, I got you before that, so I'm glad to have you here. Like, it's been absolutely amazing.
Cool.
Chit chatting.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now I'm gonna have her cut this out. Actually, guys, I know this interview is a lot long, so I apologize to you, but our production team is having a little.
I can talk all day.
I was about to say, like, I hope you don't mind.
I'm comfortable.
That you're sitting here and chit-chatting forever. Like, I'm elongating this interview. But it's great, because I'm getting to know you personally. It's always good to make friends. You're good with meeting people. So, absolutely amazing. Let's dig into Las Vegas life. Like, what's one fun thing, apart from partying and clubbing and nature, that you can say that you could do this hot summer? It's going to be super hot. It's already hot. It's like 95 degrees. It's hot as Kurt sitting here, okay? So, like...
What to do?
Let's sing one fun new thing in Vegas. That they're going to come see Thunder from Down Under, which you should. But also, they're like, what else can I do in Vegas besides see the amazing Kurt MC on stage?
If it's hot, I like going to the -5 bar.
Oh.
Go grab a drink, because it's freezing in there, and you just get away.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Oh, okay.
We went in there one day and then somehow ended up doing a photo shoot nearly naked.
Oh, okay.
So it was really cold.
Yeah. So if you have shakes from being nervous, you're also added from the temperature.
But no, it's just a cool city. The best thing for me actually living here is because it's such a tourist hub, and a lot of Australians want to come to Vegas. They save up, they come over for the DJs, the parties, the festivals. So I actually don't have too long a period of not seeing like my friends from home. Like someone's always here. Like I would say every maybe even 3 weeks, I've got someone that I know or grew up with that's over here and catching up. And my house is pretty big, so I've got rooms for for my friends to stay at. I've always let everybody know that they're more than welcome to come over.
Yeah. And that's pretty. Like, you live the life, because obviously you travel here and there, but you're also here. You can welcome people. Like
maybe get a few show tickets for free for something. So
hey, when you make friends in Vegas, like you.
And that's a cool thing about our job, you know. It's a lot of trading. Like, hey, if we come to your show, you can come to ours, and so I've got to see that. Basically, nearly every show in Vegas I've been to see, so it's good, and it's always good to go watch other shows and get a perspective on how they're performing, and you can kind of pick up tips and tricks from watching other people, and to make yourself better, because every show in Vegas is outstanding, and some of the performers are just out of this world.
Wild.
It's insane how talented people are.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite?
I like Rouge. It's at the Strat, and it's like a cabaret / circus. It's really good. Like the comedy, the 2 hosts are actually Australian, so
it's relatable.
Which I didn't, and they're from the Gold Coast too. Yeah, so I didn't actually know that until after I met them. But they are like just so good. And then you've also got these acrobats from over in Europe that they just do things that I've been to the show like 4 times, and I still sit there just going, "Oh my god, this is incredible."
Amazing. It's the same thing. Like I know you go to a lot of shows like with Surf, which is why I asked if you guys change it up, because if you have regulars, they come and then they go, which is kind of like always there's something new, something you can't expect. Right.
And we do have regulars, which is actually really cool. We've got like fans of the show that they love it. They come every time they come to Vegas. We've got some that have been like over 100 times. They know our personal lives. They follow us on Instagram. They turn up with my favorite M&Ms, things like that. All the little treats that they give us presents. It's really fun. It's nice, like to have have fans like that.
Yeah.
And it's also weird that I've got, like, I say that I've got fans. It's really
right?
strange
Isn't
for
it
me.
mind-blowing?
Yeah.
You're going to have more after this, I'm
It's-
pretty sure.
It's bizarre, like, because my mum came over and, you know, we're walking the strip and there was literally, like, the billboard with me on it. And she was like, oh, am I freaking out?
Mm-hmm.
And then it really doesn't happen. Like, it really doesn't. And just some people just have me walk past and like, are you Kurt from Thunder from Down? I'm like, yeah, can we get a photo? Yeah. As they walk away, Mum's like, does this happen all the time? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
so
because
it
you're
doesn't
one
matter.
of the faces of Thunder from Down Under.
It's
You
pretty
do have a
funny.
very big following on Instagram, which
Yeah.
I'm sure kind of helps promote the show, and then also yourself as an individual. You
Yeah.
actually get opportunities to go to events
Yeah.
and red carpets and things like that.
And that's
So-
that's always fun. Red carpet events are always good. Again, get to meet people and now and then have a drink with some pretty big celebrities. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And now we can have a drink
Yeah.
together. And
Let's
but absolutely amazing. So before we go, please tell them how they can get tickets to your show. Where's the best one? You guys do 12 shows a week, which is crazy.
Yep. So we've got one show Monday, we've got Tuesday off, Wednesday one show, 2 on Thursday, 3 Friday and Saturday, 2 on Sunday. www.thunderfromdownunder.com, and it takes you directly to the links to get both tour shows around the world and Las Vegas, and definitely hit us up on Instagram at Thunder Vegas. There's photos of all the other guys on there wearing not much. You know,
So I
you
mean,
can
everyone.
have a little perusal of
Hey.
who's there. But yeah, Thunder Vegas is all of our handles. So definitely, if you've got some free time, check us out.
Amazing.
And send us a
And
message.
The best thing
Ask
about
us a
you
question.
is that you're humble, you're relatable, you have sort of like this great, like you said, like got a boy next door, like you're a regular guy. You can sit here, have a great conversation, and it's not intimidating. I'm sure a lot of women are just like, oh my god, that was oh my god, he's not going.
What was it when we
like,
do photos at the end of the show, and you know, people come up and they sit on us, and sometimes they're shaking, and they're like, "Oh, I'm like, it's fine, it's fine. Trust me, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. We're no one. It's good.
One more fun question. I don't know if you can say much, but what's the craziest thing you've experienced at a show where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to deal with this situation when it comes to like maybe an audience member or something funny that happened on stage that was like no.
To me personally, nothing's happened. Like my first show out on tour was in Windsor, Canada, which is at Caesars there. It's like 5,000 people. It's the biggest show we do. And the first guy came back. It was my first ever tour show, and he's just dripping with blood. I'm like, what happened? You fall over? He's like, no, just some woman scratched me. I'm like,
Oh.
excuse me? Like, what? This happens? He's like, yeah, that's right. And then, you know, wardrobe malfunctions are always pretty funny. As I said, nothing's happened to me, but I've got to laugh at my mates a few times.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to, the show must go on. So you're like, oh my gosh, no. Don't post that on social media. But anyways, thank you so much for coming. It's been absolutely amazing having you.
Awesome.
It's
Thanks for
great
having
to
me.
connect with you and for you to connect with the audience. So everyone, please go see Thunder from Down Under, the
Come see
longest
us.
review show here on the Strip. Great people, great personality, obviously a great show. I've seen it, so I'm not just bluffing. I'm not just, trying to stroke his ego, but he is amazing. Obviously, got the looks, the personality, the charm, the charisma, and the talent, clearly.
Jeez,
So everyone-
you're too kind.
Yeah, and if you have a hosting opportunity, obviously, Kurt, he can do it. I mean, he's sitting here, he's just going with it, and he's probably the most relaxed guest I've had on this show, as for a first time on the hot seat. So absolutely amazing. So thank you so much once again, Kurt Joseph, everyone. And when we come back, we have another realm of Las Vegas we are going to delve into, so don't go anywhere. Refill your drinks.
This show is brought to you by Michelle Kubiak. If you want to buy or sell a home, call Michelle, 702-683-6576.
I can already feel you judging me, and not for what I've done in the past, but for what I'm about to do. I had what mattered, and I got careless. Like, I don't deserve more. I don't deserve sympathy. I don't deserve to be here.
Where the hell are you? Why aren't you answering your phone? Jenna! What is the matter with you?
Someone once told me, you may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you're somebody's shot of whiskey.
Excuse me, ma'am. My car ran out of gas and I left my wallet at home. Could you please spare a couple dollars so I can refuel my vehicle?
I literally have nothing.
What's it gonna take to get you to join a program?
Get about a dog! If Jesus wanted you to have a dog, he would have blessed you with a bowl and a leash now, wouldn't he?
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Hi guys, we are back. I am your host Priscilla Moy, and wasn't Kurt amazing? He's such a champ for going through that long interview. But again, he is not boring and he is great to look at. So I'm sure that all of you women at home are just sitting there like, I don't care, I'll just keep talking. We love to hear the accent, we love to see it. So absolutely great. So we are switching over to another part of Vegas, another person who's absolutely doing amazing things and showcasing that Las Vegas has so much opportunity in this city for anyone to succeed no matter what you're doing. And he does so many different things that you're kind of like, okay, none of them relate, but like you do it, so it's possible. Like anything's possible, guys. So I had the pleasure of meeting him years ago when I had first moved here, and I'm glad we stayed in contact, and I'm able to see that he has just expanded since. So everyone, please meet the one, the only, Rayce Rayos, aka Rayce the Realtor and beyond. Welcome him to the hot seat. It's nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Great to see you again.
Yes.
Too. It's been years at this point.
I know. Amazing. Now, he was going to be on my show a couple of episodes ago, but I'm glad that he is here now. It's a perfect time for him to come. Sitting here, we have men with sleeves today. This is a theme. There's always a theme. It ends up being every week. There's something relatable with all of my guests. Like it's just amazing.
Fair enough.
So I was telling them, obviously, because you heard that you do so many different things, like 3 in particular. You're a realtor.
Sure.
Now you founded a yoga company, like thing that's going on that's huge right now, and I can't wait to get into that. But also a clothing company.
Yes.
So many different things in entrepreneurship that people would not think Vegas would have, because they're used to the whole performer thing. They're used to the whole Kurt vibe, right?
I guess so.
But now let's dig into the realtor thing. You were born and raised in Las Vegas.
Correct.
So you watched the city grow.
I certainly have.
Yes, and you watched kind of see how it is huge for people to move here. Either they're originally probably retiring here, right? But now it's like people opening businesses, so many things are happening, tons of jobs. What is it like as a realtor and watching the city grow?
It's the best. It's the best. I mean, Las Vegas is, 118 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. And the growth that it's exhibited since its first formation is unlike anywhere else, right? I mean, it was during the early 20th century and then up through modern times, and so during that time we've been able to reinvent ourselves numerous times as a city as a whole, coming from Mormon and mobsters, things like that, to the premier vacation destination and things like that, with the onset of casinos, and then into what it's become now, which is becoming more so known as a hub for families and a low cost of living, high quality of life type of environment. Different than maybe our California neighbors or Pacific Northwest neighbors. So that's attractive to people who are who don't want to break the bank to live in a nice place where they feel safe, where they feel welcomed, and where they feel as though they're one morsel in a very, very diverse scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, being able to practice real estate for the last, 2023, I got licensed in 2018. 5 years, it'll be 6 years in August.
Mm-hmm.
So during those 6 years alone, we've gone through, some considerable transitions as a society, a la pandemics, a la, social upheaval and things like that, global social upheaval, on local and global scales. So navigating through those as a business person, as an entrepreneur, has been, a treat and just a super formative experience, one that's made me come out on the other side much more capable, much more knowledgeable, much more useful to my clients, to myself, and just it's sort of expedited the process of me getting to where I foresee myself down the line, so that now I can pick another destination to head to, pick another mountain to start climbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know real estate is huge here in Las Vegas when it comes to what people do for a living. They do real estate and they do something on the side, but everyone here is getting their licenses. And so I think to succeed, you have to kind of find a way to market Las Vegas and talk of it up in a way where you change the misconceptions and the presumptions of what people think Las Vegas actually is.
Right.
Why would I want to raise my family there? Why would I want my kids? How's the school systems? You know, is it unsafe? Is it really partying? There's a lot of this, that, and the third.
And that's true, and there is.
Yeah,
there's
there
the third, fourth, and fifth, and the sixth.
But at the same time,
exactly.
it's for everyone of all ages.
That's so true.
Not
Certain
just
zip codes for certain folks. As a local, I try to stay away from the Strip as much as possible, just because I know how enticing it can be, and how much of a playground it can be, and how quickly it can drain or fulfill your bank accounts. There's something for everybody here. The old saying is that people think that we live in casinos and we live, in high rises, and that we live a glitz and glam life. And though, a great many of us do, because there's a great many world-class performers walking amongst the ranks of everyday Las Vegans, the vast majority of us are just everyday people who, are able to function and thrive in this society that not everybody is able to, whether it be because it's 115 degrees, or whether it be because, there's traffic.
It's dry.
It's dry beyond, it's bone dry, which, agrees with me, but not with everybody, I assume. It's a really, somewhat extreme place, weather-wise, but also just, as a norm, as a par for the course for this place. It's sink or swim type of atmosphere.
Yes.
And luckily, being from here, being engendered to diversity, at every single level of my life, and in many different ways, I've been able to, become a global citizen in a global city, and take that moving forward in my, in my own business prowess, or in my own approach.
It's very, very hard in ways to live here, because there's no culture compared to if you're going to go to places like New York, Detroit, or South Carolina. It's very different, because everyone's from somewhere else, and so how do you make a city out of people who are doing their own thing at one time, and then appeal to everyone at the same time without while keeping people coming in and expanding the city. So to live here, you have to be very, very strong. And you clearly are very proud of Las Vegas. You were born and raised, and you stayed. You stayed
I think
here.
it's the best city in the world, and I have no qualms about it. I'm quite positive. Not even beyond the point of convinced. It's sort of a factual at this point. I just really think it is. I think in terms of where are the chariot races, or where are the gladiator fights nowadays. Right, where when the Roman Empire was at the height, and Rome was the pinnacle of, arguably the pinnacle of culture at that time, at that specific time in history. I think we've sort of embodied ourselves as a very similar thing in the form of heavyweight bouts at for the last 30 years having taken place here.
Yeah.
The largest gathering in terms of music festivals having taken place this very past weekend. Right? I think these are very, very significant, and not so telltale, but quite obvious types of writing on the wall that just puts us as economically attractive to outside investment, whether it be domestic or whether it be foreign, but outside of Las Vegas investment, and just growing in sense of a collective sense of pride for the Las Vegas resident.
Yeah, exactly. Because when we live here, we want to be in a city also that other big cities are also tribute to many big things that go there. Because we're so used to having to travel. If you want to go see someone in concert, they're going to go to the big three. They're going to go to New York, Chicago, LA, and then now Oakland. But now Las Vegas is on the map, especially for big international artists and festivals. And that's great because people are taking us seriously. I had this argument on the show a lot with people, and I asked them, like, do you see Vegas growing? And how do you, because we're all waiting. We're waiting for that time when you're like, oh my God, this is the moment.
Right.
The Hollywood 2.0, the place where people come to visit and where people don't assume, like we were talking about earlier, that we're all just here at the clubs partying every single day until 4 a.m. And so people are taking us seriously as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as actors, because I think a lot of times people looking like, what's in Vegas? What kind of talent am I going
what's
to
really out there?
Yeah, like I can find it better in LA, I can find it better in New York. Like, you know what I mean? That whole stigma. And so this leads me into talking about your pride for the city, because you opened Downtown Yoga in the Park and Container Park.
Yes.
And it's a very great area for a lot of locals. You got downtown Las Vegas, and that's the home and the place where a lot of locals will go to if it's not the Strip.
Very much.
It's very old Vegas, so if you want to have that feel that hasn't changed, whenever you go to Fremont, you go to downtown, you go to the Arts District, it has that vibe, and it has where the locals thrive and start their businesses.
Sure.
So tell us the journey, because this happened, it's not brand new, but you've been doing it.
It's actually 6 years. It's been 6 years. I've been practicing yoga the year before I started practicing real estate, so I got my yoga credential 2017, the summer of 2017, and since then been practicing and teaching hundreds of classes a year. Initially started teaching at the university, V. Shouts to the Rebels. Just graduated 2021 with a couple degrees from there, and then just started my master's program there as well. So just love, love, V. Have Hey Reb tatted, all that. But anyway, that's where I first started teaching after I got my credential. From there, sort of expanded to reaching out to different sort of groups and things like that were doing stuff in the same realm, but not quite the same type of instruction. And so reached out to the Smith Center. The Smith Center, they'd be happy to have me teaching at Symphony Park. And so that's the little park just north of the Smith Center where they have of the theater. And so that was quite an experience as well. And it was free at this time. It was Downtown Yoga in the Park, a free endeavor just for people to come with their families and tap into their vessels and tap into their breathing, things like that, and just feel grass, hopefully. And so that took place for 3 years or so, something like that, maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, and the officials from Container Park attended my event out there. One particular individual, the GM of Container Park, and he attended it with his family, and after they stayed and we chatted for a moment, and then he had asked if I would like to do the same thing at Container Park. And having been I'm from 89101, which is the downtown zip code, and knowing full and well just the transitional periods that block itself, let alone the 6 blocks ensuing, have gone through, I just was pretty happy to be given that opportunity to do it down there. And so the 3 years preceding the first 3 years, so these last 3 years, 2020 until now or so, maybe 2021 until now, have been at Container Park on the lawn out there. We have sound therapy Sunday, every first and third Sunday. I have a wonderful woman come through, and she does Tibetan bowls and rain sticks and the tongue drums, things like that. And then the second and fourth Sunday, a friend of mine, Leticia Apablaza, she wrote a book called the Me Time Journal, and she just sort of leads meditation and journaling for the first half of class before we delve into the yoga. But the yoga is the primary component out there. We get down in the sunshine, birds chirping, but yoga is meant to be practiced outdoors, so that's an important component that does sort of scare somebody. Outdoors, June, Las Vegas, quite tough. We keep it pretty morning time if we can. 8:45. And then the park opens right at 10, so everybody who comes down gets a discount for all the small businesses right there. Just try to keep it full circle, keep it wholesome, keep it pretty universally mutual. And I'm extremely and incredibly grateful to be able to use that space and to unfold what is downtown yoga in that area. So I hold the class Downtown Yoga in the Park there, and then my yoga outfit is Downtown Yoga, which is wherever we're doing yoga at. That's who's doing it. But
that's amazing, because he was even featured on the news. I know
that
he's pretty well known. to see yoga in the park, and
That's right.
because it's a big thing for someone to be that courageous to come in the heat in Las Vegas,
That's right.
and then feel zen and feel very, in a place of peace.
Exactly, and I don't practice from too much the most philosophical standpoint. I have a bachelor's in kinesiology, and so my instruction is quite technical, quite hey, do this and do the external rotation of our hip, of our leg at our hip, and not too much of the esoteric type of motifs, just because I don't feel comfortable.
They do the philosophy.
You know what I mean?
The spiritual.
Yeah, not to match that in the least bit. Just to say that my form of instruction is a bit more anatomically based, a bit more unshrouded in maybe some things that might be open to interpretation a bit more. Like I want to be easily interpreted. This is what we're doing. Opposing force couples.
Exactly.
Doing,
this is the right way to do it for your body. To make it like useful.
Are we all human here? We all have the same muscles, right? For the most part.
Yeah, you look at it from more of a sports area point of view.
I do want to work us out for sure, but through that cathartic sort of exercise, we can come to these deeper forms of self-reflection, of maybe epiphany or things like this, where it transcends just the physical element. It then enters the people crying on the mat, and it enters the wow, I need to take a moment and just I haven't been able to disassemble this deep thing going on in my life until I've withdrawn from my external environment like I am now. So let me now break this thing apart, this tough thing to break apart, and let me do that now, in a group, like nobody else, unbeknownst to everybody else, but you never know what's going on within the practitioner's mind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That has been brought about by their foot being up here.
Exactly.
Or something like
Especially
that.
in a place with Las Vegas, the mind's going like this. So you gotta calm down. Like, how do you get someone? Because I know yoga's not for everyone, but how do you calm down and just stay in that moment and be present? I think that's the hardest thing for people to do, is literally to listen and be present in that moment and not worry about anything else. It's probably the hardest thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a website for this, and it does talk a little bit about you guys,
Absolutely.
why you do it, why you started, things like that, and it does point that yoga is for everyone, right? You guys are very inclusive. There's a lot of workouts where people are very intimidated by them. Like, that's not me.
Right.
When you come to CrossFit or Pilates, there's people that are more fearful to do that versus what you're trying to preach about yoga, which is it's not. It's very whatever fitness level, whoever you are, whatever you're going through, we welcome you in this space.
100%. I mean, the yoga is a term that translates to yoke, which is the much more overarching philosophy that was practiced, some 6,000 years ago in India, Asia Minor, modern day India, things like that, written in Sanskrit, all that stuff. Asana practice is the movement of our bodies, which is one component of yoga. So we practice asana, we practice pranayama, which is breath work. So, just the simplest forms of taking a moment to yourself. We don't necessarily have to put our body into a pretzel, into the toughest pretzel, just to say, I'm doing yoga or I'm good at yoga. And then people will often tell me, I'm not good at yoga. And that's not the right type of, descriptor one should be using for something like yoga. It's like, I know we all have difficulty looking at ourselves in the mirror sometimes, or just taking a moment for ourselves and breathing through it. But it's certainly not about competitive flexibility or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's the person who has to work that hard to get the same difficulty has to work harder. The person who isn't as limber and who just can barely, I feel it already, that person is already experiencing the same sort of self-challenge that the other person who has to do a lot more is doing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. So it's very individual.
Yes.
It's very, you grow within yoga, and then you also grow within yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Knock two birds out with one stone.
Yeah, make space for, recognize the old just to make space for the new, and sometimes I have a hoarding trait too, or just a hoarding tendency to keep on to things that, serve no value or serve no, or serve some, what I think is sentimental value, but really I just don't want to let go of this thing or something like that. You know what I mean? And so, doing that mentally or doing that, in our mental landscape can pay big dividends, especially with repeated practice and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see people growing throughout doing yoga. It's more internal a lot of the times because you see people just being like, oh my God, I'm able to do this now.
Right.
Either gain courage or move on from something, grow within themselves no matter what age, which I feel is a lot of things that people are going on. It's bringing a lot of awareness to society now where people are always are holding on to this angst, this trying to be levels that they wish they would, and so it comes out in different ways and other people, and so it's kind of all just how we're affecting each other and
absolutely, and understanding that not everybody grew up in the same environment,
Mm-hmm.
or many people have different things that hinder or help them, you know, to be a bit more outgoing, or, you know,
Right.
small-minded, or whatever it is, or just, you know, just because we all have pros and cons, you know, that we lean towards and lean into and want to stray away from. But yeah, it certainly is for everybody. It's you know, an ancient practice that, you know, if it's just for humans, you know what I mean? It's just really for humans.
We're all humans at the
Yeah.
end of the
So
day,
if you're
guys.
not,
We all have a struggle.
If you're not even, you know,
I guess not. AI is a thing now.
Still
so.
try it. Yeah,
We're gonna do AI yoga.
Oh my god. New poses coming in.
Oh dear.
New poses. Oh.
So now your clothing line. You got your hat.
Yes.
Serap.
Serap to most people. Serap, it's a, you know, conjunctional phrase for it's a wrap, right? Something that we all say. Something that we say when something's.
I see.
Found,
We're like, today it's a wrap for today's
exactly,
show.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm part Filipino, and sarap means tasteful. It means delicious. It means yummy. You know, rough translation to yummy, good, delicious. I like to use it as tasteful, and use it in terms of you know, just exhibiting taste in all things. Not necessarily fashion, but extending the idea of ecologically friendly practices into fashion. I think that's tasteful.
Yeah.
You know, being the main purchaser for my company, I procure whatever I think is fashionable, fashion forward, and also, you know, edgy and not harmful and not derivative, or somewhat derivative, but, you know, not in the negative sense, and also not in the sense of, hey, Vietnam, Bangladesh, El Salvador, can you please ship me 1,000 of these in all these size runs and print my logo on it and say that it's genuine, or say that
Fast
it's
fashion.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, exactly. But fast fashion on a small level, which is still, you know, has a bit of a capitalistic tinge to it, and you know, the just the outsourcing, the offshoring of certain things that can be done in house, the creativity that doesn't need to be exported or imported, the creativity that can be organically sourced, and found on things like, you know, OfferUp or Poshmark or things like that. I mean, most of my goods are new, has the tag on them, but my business model precludes me from sort of getting my raw goods from mass providers, mass distributors, mass manufacturers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's human given. It's bought from other humans.
Yes.
It's not bought from
upcycling.
Yes.
And doing all of those things, which is great. It's a lot of things are very local to Las Vegas. A lot of designers here are very good.
Absolutely, be surprised what you can find. But also, there's plenty of fabrics that have been created already that can be altered in a way or kept the very same if they're gorgeous, right? Or maybe just put my just put my logo on it. But yeah, so Wrap is I opened that in 2018, and I shut the doors for a temporary time, 2021. And so it's been on hiatus since then, just because there were some other boxes in life that I needed to check off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was paying a commercial rent and a residential rent, and I'm like, let me go get a mortgage popped in. You know what I mean? I get it. You know, passion is a blast. Clothes are a blast. They'll be there for me when it's time. When I'm in the station of life that I can once again give it my heart and what I feel it deserves. Then it will be there for me, sort of a butterfly or a caterpillar in a cocoon type of thing, you know, almost done with metamorphosis. So that butterfly will fly again soon. But yeah, it's been sort of on the back burner as I, you know, collect myself as a man, as a business person, as a father, as my daughter stands here videotaping me.
I was going to say, like, another big thing about the amazing thing about you is that you're very, 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 you know, adamant about how proud of a father that you are. If anyone were to look you up online, amongst all of the work that you do and the amazing things you're doing for the city, first and foremost, you're like, no, I'm a dad. Like, I love it. This is part of my life. And I'm not ashamed of it. This is something that I'm here, and this is a priority alongside all the things that you are doing, which is very admirable. And a lot of people, you know, to meet someone like you, I'm pretty sure it would be a motivation for them to be like, okay, well, I can do it. Like, it's not impossible, and it's something that everyone can be extremely proud of, just like you.
Absolutely. The feeling is very mutual as well. The many things that you do and the many chainsaws that you juggle proverbially are, you know, just kudos to you. Hats off to you. It's wonderful to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I
didn't think you would be this whole time. I'm like, oh no, does Rayce even remember me? Like, I messaged him. I'm like, I know we met years ago, and I couldn't even remember. I was going to ask,
can you tell me where you
was it a fashion show?
I want to say, CMXX.
I
been on a handful of fashion shows that week. They were, you know, awesome. They were wonderful.
They were it was very Vegas vibes.
It was very, it was very, off the cuff and triumphant, which is my style. I love that. I'm not really the biggest planner, and fail to plan to fail, but I'm a pretty good sort of last minute. Here's some quality work type of thing. You know what I mean?
Done. But quality over quantity. I always say.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want 1,000 pennies. I'd rather however many quarters that is, or whatever. $10 or something. Yes. Anyway, So rap, that was such a beautiful and informative ride. That and I was at the time that I'm throwing these fashion shows. There's I was having a First Friday event where I would procure the acts, maybe 10, 11, 12 acts that I would just pick and like, wow, I like your music, you local monster, come over here. You know what I mean? Just come put on and oh wow, you sing like that. Bring your ass over here. Just,
the king of Las Vegas. He's like, you're all great.
No, I wouldn't say king at all. But certainly like it did get to a point where it was hey, you know what's going on. I would love for you to come perform. Thank you. And be there at this time. And they would come and it would be hundreds of people just celebrating local artistry in the form of visual arts, in the form of musicianship, in the form of instrumentationalism, and in the form of whatever else in between. I would have tattoo artists there all the time.
Yeah.
And pretty not raunchy, but just First Street. And which if you're familiar with Las Vegas is right in the center of put it this way, we would do Operation Shoe the People, and we could pass out 20 pairs of shoes in maybe 200 yards down in either way. So and they would fit the unhoused population that call that area their transient home for the time being. And so just a place that is really reflective of not so much of the gentrification that has gone on as of late, as of the last 8 years, which I'm also duly grateful for, right? The downtown project is a huge injection of $350 million into the zip code that I grew up in, and so that doesn't really happen. It doesn't really happen, and so that sort of comment that just happened, thanks to Tony Hsieh, right? So 150 million gets delivered to entrepreneurs, 200 million towards property enhancement. Yeah. And so now we have things like the Ferguson, now we have things like the Container Park, right?
Yeah.
We have things like Inspire, we have things like those bars, a lot of those bars down there, a lot of the restaurateurs down there were sourced by the Downtown Project team, if not Tony Hsieh himself or his immediate team. And building upon that, on his vision board for what that $350 million injection would consist of and what it would manifest as years down the line, the biggest word in there was yoga, and so it was in his vision to have a place for continual yoga practice for an area that was historically dilapidated, historically derelict,
exactly.
And now it is what it is. It's the home of Life is Beautiful, just these many lingering ramifications from this philanthropic person that just we get to build upon and be a part of, and just and just be ourselves in.
To the greatness of Old Vegas, to a place, especially because it's home for you, that little area in downtown Vegas, and so to watch it grow and to know that it's becoming something amazing, and it's also within your realm of what you do and what you stand for. So I think it's amazing that you have those opportunities down there to express yourself and continue to grow and build Las Vegas and help be a part of the expansion of the city.
Yes.
Because it's just not the Strip, guys. It's not just even Fremont. There's areas in Vegas where people are very proud of. They have hope for it, and they're building upon those things, and to make sure that the locals are proud of where they're from. And they stay here, and people move here to see how amazing it is.
That's right.
And what I love about, Sarap is the fact that you create it. It's not just kind of like you're copying trends.
Hands are on
literally,
it.
hands are on it. Your brain is putting it here onto the item of clothing, so it's literally original. It's not even just thrifting or upcycling. It's literally coming out of your brain, your vibe, it's a you in clothes. Like you said, what you find fashionable, and I mean, whether you like it or not, it is, but it's him. You can't even say, oh, I'm doing the same thing that person did, that same set, but I'm just putting my logo on it. Right. So it's absolutely amazing. And so one last question before we go, because I asked this one of my guests. Is there a philosophy that you live by?
A philosophy that I live by, I would say, treat others how you want to be treated. The golden rule is paramount to me, and I try to function with that on the forefront of my mind at all times. Just because we tend to take a lot of things for granted as maybe just young, hip, fly by night, somewhat fashion forward people, and so we can lose sight of the many things that aren't glitz and glam that are going on around us at all times, right? It is nice to hold yourself in a positive light and acknowledge yourself as capable and powerful, but with great power comes great responsibility as well. And so to maximize one's positive impact with this small amount of time that we get in a lifespan, I think it's important just to remain true to yourself. Make sure that you've put in the work behind the scenes. Make sure that you're worthy of the person that you're walking around as. And even myself, I struggle with imposter syndrome sometimes, just because you should be your own toughest critic, I believe, and you should be confident in what you're putting out as palatable to the masses. But is it palatable to yourself in perpetuity? Perhaps not, and so that's the continuous foundation for growth that we should look back to once in a while and then move forward from quite more often.
Amazing. That deserves a round of applause. Absolutely fantastic. You're one of the few people born and raised in Las Vegas that are on the show. Everyone is coming from everywhere saying
Australia was just in the house.
Yeah, right? Really. Like, not even a different state. Like, we have a different country in here, which is amazing.
Chicago in the house?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, exactly. And, you got the Philippines over here. You got all this stuff.
Be nice.
But you are literally, I love having those because you get a new viewpoint. This is a true Vegas local. Like, people who move here even have been there 10 years. We're not technically, from Vegas. So you don't either, when you walk the street, everyone's like, I've never met a local before.
I know. They were just telling me that outside. They were like,
really?
I'm here from 74. I mean, I'm at 15. I was like, what?
Yeah, so it's like kind of like old Vegas royalty. This is what built Vegas, literally, because you're a realtor, everything. So amazing. So tell people where they can find you before we gotta say goodbye.
Yoga. Come to my yoga class this weekend. What's today? Wednesday. Teach Saturday, Sunday morning, Monday evening. So Saturday, Monday morning, 8:45. Tickets at dtylv.com. Downtown Yoga, LasVegas.com, or Eventbrite, or you can just scan the QR code at Container Park if you're walking around there. Aside from that, Rayce the Realtor LV. Feel free to follow me on there, Rayce the Realtor LV. If you need a house, if you're looking if your lease is up almost soon, then I'd be more than happy to help you secure a nice new place for you or for some loved ones that you may know. Rayce the Realtor LV on Instagram, RayceTheRealtor.com. If you want to read up on the processes and things like if you're looking for an information hub, feel free to go to RayceTheRealtor.com. That's RAYCE the Realtor, REALTOR.com. And then Serap International, Serap INTL on Instagram. Feel free to follow that. Again, it's on hiatus, so if you get in on somewhat the ground floor, awesome. We'll be rocking soon again.
Yeah, he's got to let the ideas flow. Designing takes time,
right.
guys.
That's
right. You got to just let life inspire you, and then that has a new line.
That's right.
Artists, that's how we think. We got to let things happen to us first. But amazing. Oh yes, you are so welcome. Please introduce your beautiful daughter.
And this is Irene. This is the coolest second grader. Former second grader. Right, last day of school was Monday, but this is the coolest, biggest, strongest third grader in Las Vegas.
Yeah, rocking the hair like her dad, Absolutely amazing. So everyone, Rayce, he is absolutely going around Las Vegas doing everything that he wanted to do and inspiring others to do the same. So you can too. Please move to Vegas because you can be just like us. Here we are in studio and be like us. Like have all these opportunities. But
I got you this too.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's open this. Is this the part of the so this is what you can. Yes, I'm gonna wear this on the show because it's not green. So I can wear it. Thank God.
So don't wear yellow. I hope I'm not.
Like invisible here. This stuffed animal might.
And Mr. Pickles is here. Mr. Pickles away. He's been on enough TV programs.
We can always add another one.
There we go.
Priscilla show's different. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you for coming. Everyone, Rayce, follow him, support him, watch what he's doing. Everything's up and coming. Shop the line and stay tuned for more from the line. And make sure you guys don't go anywhere because, of course, as always, I am not done talking to you. So get another refill, your second, third, fourth, and we will see you after the break.
This show is brought to you by Modern Word Ministries.
What affects your credit? The answer can be many things. Let's take a look at a few of the most common factors and how they can impact your credit. Credit history. In order to have a credit score, you need to have open and active credit accounts. This gives you the opportunity to build a credit score and get approved for larger purchases such as a car or a home. So it's important to have a responsible record of debt repayment. Available credit and usage. The rule of thumb is to use 30% of your available credit to minimize the impact of debt on your credit score. In other words, the less credit you use, the better. Monthly on-time payments. By making sure your monthly payments are paid on time, you could boost your credit score. Late payments, however, may bring your score down. Errors on your credit report. Check your credit report regularly to make sure it's accurate. If there are any errors or signs of identity theft, report them immediately to the appropriate credit bureau. Applications for credit. If you're applying for credit, filling out several applications in a short amount of time may hurt your credit score. It's ideal to keep the applications to a minimum. However, there is an allowable shopping window for a mortgage. Remember, a good credit score could possibly save you in interest payments. If your credit score needs some improvement, however, consider starting with the basics mentioned here. And when you're ready to buy your dream home, give New American Funding a call. We'll help you find a home loan that works for you and your unique situation.
Have you ever dreamed of sharing your views and knowledge with the world? It should be easy, right? Just turn on your phone, talk into the camera, upload to your social media, then sit back and wait to go viral. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Not only that you need a great message, you also need a video production as well as a quality sound and lighting. If that's not enough, you still need to make sure that video's description, title, and thumbnails are optimized by SEO and search algorithms. What a hassle! Don't worry, Social Media Shows is here to help. With our years of production online experience and professional studio, we can remove all the technical roadblocks out of your way so that you can focus on the message you want to share with the whole world. We have production plans that fit any budget. Visit Social Media Shows today at socialmediashows.com and schedule your free pilot audition today.
An amazing episode as per usual. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just want to give you guys a shout out for viewing, for sharing, for commenting, for bringing awareness to this particular show here at Social Media Shows. It was a grueling 2 weeks off because I'm getting so used to being able to come here every week, meet new people, challenge myself. You know, as Kurt and I were talking, like meeting new personalities, and then as me and Rayce are talking, everyone's from somewhere else. So being able to connect with people from a totally different world than you and being relatable and you networking and finding a connection can be very hard for many, but I love it. Everyone here is great with people. Clearly, all their jobs is based on networking and traveling and meeting people. So Las Vegas is the city for you. We have tons of things here for you and great locals. People come here and they stay here because it's just up and coming and building. And of course, another reason why I love coming here is because it is my weekly fashion show, because clearly I come here and I am showcasing the fashion of Priscilla. Shout out to August D, aka Sugar from BTS, if you guys know. So I wore this because I went to his concert when I was in Chicago, and he is, I think, and news for all my K-pop lovers out there, the first rapper to ever make, he made the most doing just an arena tour. He didn't do stadiums. He could sell them out, but he did an arena tour, and he's made the most money out of all the rappers here in the United States. So he was the first one, and he is thebomb.com. So if you guys are interested and was wondering why I'm wearing a shirt with some Asian guy on it, is because he's the baddest. And if you guys better just don't be thinking, oh my god, some K-pop, like whatever, rapping police. No, he is like the bomb.com. Like August D without A, it's AGUSTD. So be out there, be on the look. You can get the look like me. Let me model it. Let me stand. Maria's telling me to stand so you guys can see the fit. Boom, bam, alakazam. Anyway, so okay, you've heard enough of me. I'm kind of chattering on and on like a YouTuber, and we can't have that. So anyways, I know that you've missed me, and it won't be long till you see me again because next Wednesday will be popping up before you know it. I'm here chit-chattering all day with you. So as always, don't forget my name. Don't wear it out. I am Priscilla Moy here as a host of The Hot Seat, live in real time in social media show. So I will see you next week, or you can see me every day. You can see me again after this. I have many episodes up on this channel, so just be browsing, add the view, add the share, add the comment, add the like. I don't know. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching, and we are also open to sponsorships. I have to always say that because I love you guys, and I know you love me, and you love Maria. So where y'all at? We're here for you. Anyways, I will see you next week. Bye. I have some amazing guests for you as always. I never disappoint, and neither does our production team, with scouting the best people to bring on here to sit in the hot seat. So when we come back, we're going to have an amazing performer here. I'm not going to give any details because I want you guys to stay and wait for it. The suspense is great. It literally just, trust me on this one, okay? I cannot wait for him to sit on the hot seat and for me to interview him and for you guys to get to know somebody like him. So make sure when you go on the break, you guys go grab coffee, grab your little drinks, and come back and do not go anywhere, okay? So once again, I am Priscilla Moy, and I will see you back right after the break here and the hot seat.
This show is brought to you by Deborah Richards. Move Me No Mountains. Now available at Amazon Prime.
Ready to buy a home? Whether you want to move out of your parents' home for the first time, own a home after renting for years, or buy a place with a spouse or partner, purchasing your first home is a big step. Finding the right home for you and your family has never been easier. New American Funding can help you determine how much house you qualify for, what your payments may be, and get you pre-approved, which will help you put in a stronger offer when you do find your new home. Before you start the home buying process, it's important to consider everything that you want in a home and what that means to you. There are several things you should consider when buying a home. The neighborhood. Location, location, location. School district. Review what school district the house is in. Even if you don't have kids, having a home in a desirable school district will pay off when it comes time to sell your home in the future. Commute times. Check the routes to work, school, grocery stores, and more to see how busy they are and how much time these routes will take. Crime rate. Before you get too involved in the home buying process, check out the crime rates for the neighborhoods you are interested in. Our complete property profile report can give you property ownership, historical tax and mortgage data, neighborhood and school data, local market conditions, and more. Find the right home for you and your family with your complimentary property profile from New American Funding. To get pre-approved or to get your complimentary property profile, contact us today.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi guys, and welcome back. We are live here at the Hot Seat with Priscilla here at Social Media Shows, live in real time, coming to you from the beautiful city of Las Vegas. Every week we come here and we interview some of the best that are here in Las Vegas for you to meet and get to know. I love meeting a new person and learning about their journey and introducing them to all the people that are watching all around the world, and especially all of our Vegas locals. So shout out to you guys. So before the break, I did promise you that we are going to have an amazing guest here today, and I'm so excited. I was really hoping that he was going to say yes and come and be interviewed on my show. So everyone, please meet Kurt Joseph from the show at the Excalibur, Thunder